Welcome to Wasting Time. This is Chris with another solo intro. Following on from last week, Nick and his wife Lucy had their second child, baby boy called Kit. So welcome to the world, Kit, and congrats, Nick and Lucy. So Nick's super busy. We wanted to keep the episodes rolling out. So this is one I recorded a little while ago, and we just haven't had a chance to put it out. So I thought I'd take this opportunity. I spoke to Saxl Rose, who's a bit of an internet sensation, amazing saxophone player, and he's kind of embedded himself in our scene a little bit. We first connected when we were doing a lot of stuff with State Champs, and he was already friends with them, had done some stuff with them, and he reached out to us. So then we thought it'd be really cool to get him on for an episode. And I'm really glad we did, because just hearing his story, it's fascinating, as you're about to hear in a minute. So we'll get into that in a second. Before we do, I just want to take a second to talk about a new Goldfinger record. How's everyone feeling about that? Been waiting for a new Goldfinger record for It's just over 5 years. Spent a bit of time with it this morning. I think I like it. It's growing on me. It's really interesting. I feel like that a couple of the songs, such as Lie in Bed and obviously Freaking Out a Bit, which was already released, were written with Mark Hoppus and Travis Barker. So it kind of looks like that's from that Blink project that was abandoned that they were doing with Feldman during the pandemic. So it's interesting assuming those are versions of those songs. Really interesting to hear those now. Need to get Feldman on this show, don't we? Let us know your thoughts on that record. We'll be back with another episode very soon, but I think let's just dive into my chat with Tony, otherwise known as Saxl Rose. I think we connected when we spoke to State Champs, who I know you're friends with, and then you kind of like commented on that, and we've been messaging a bit since then. So it's good to finally see you, man.
Likewise, man. I appreciate you having me on.
So where are you based at the minute?
So I'm originally from Baltimore, Maryland, in the States, but I kind of bounce back and forth between Baltimore and King of Prussia, Philly area.
It looks like you're leading quite an interesting life at the minute. Like, just tell me what a typical day is like at the minute.
Man, mainly just like a lot of work in the studio as far as I've been recording a lot of features lately. I don't want to jump out and say with who necessarily, because they probably want to keep it, you know what I mean? But some people may know, and some others, bands just hit me up and they'll just ask me like, hey, you want to hop on this song? So a lot of recording, a lot of gigs, performances, travel and stuff like that. So I'm doing music full time. So this is like what I do every day for sure.
Amazing. How long ago did you make the transition to it becoming your full time thing?
So I was still working in restaurants and stuff like that in like 20, up until like 2019 when I went on tour with Neck Deep in the UK.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely touch upon that in a bit for sure.
Yeah. I had been playing with them like off and on, but we finally went on like tour, and they invited me on tour to go to the UK, and the restaurant I was working in, I was like, yeah, I'm not coming back. Like so yeah, that was pretty much that. And then the pandemic hit, and that was kind of a scary time. Not just for me, but for everybody.
Yeah.
So, did what I had to do during that time. But since, I'd say music full time since like 2022 for sure, like nothing else, just music.
And what's that like? Has that been the dream that you kind of envisioned, or is it kind of, I assume it comes with its stresses as well, and not everything's perfect always, I guess,
Yeah, no matter, obviously what job that would be. So, it definitely comes with its scary moments as far as, there's not as much of a guarantee long term. You know what I mean? It's very, what you can do here and now. But I'll take doing this over someone telling me, when I can work or when to come in, or, I'm my own boss. Like, I employ my friends, you know what I mean? So it's like, through me performing and being able to put my friends on and put people in certain opportunities and make my own schedule, like I'll take that any day over someone, telling me what to do. Like, I control, if I wake up today or tomorrow and I don't feel like doing anything, I don't have to. Or if I just want to spend all day focusing on content or graphics or whatever it is, I can do that if I want to. So I'll take the freedom of, being able to hustle and make my own money and only tell myself what to do over working any other job any day. So I prefer it.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, there's been so many impressive collaborations that you've done in like the past few years. I kind of definitely want to touch upon a few of those as we go on. But I get like prior to that, I suppose, I don't know too much about your history and stuff. So, I mean, often on these shows, we'll talk through a band's history and stuff, but I'm really interested in that with you in particular, just, because in terms of my radar, you popped up on the internet playing all these collaborations, and like I'm just kind of interested that not what led you to that, but just what your background is. So I guess like maybe if you could just tell me like what your kind of early musical experiences are. And I know you come from, I think you said a musical family. I saw you say in another interview. So just tell me a little bit about the early years for you.
Got you. First of all, I appreciate you checking out other interviews. I always appreciate when people would take the time to like, research the guests that they're having on. So first of all, I appreciate you
Oh, thank you. Thank
for
you.
that. But yeah, man, I mean, like you said, my whole family is musical. My dad plays still to this day. Like we play in a few different groups together.
Oh,
So
sick.
whenever I'm not playing with another artist or doing my own thing, like if he has a gig with his band, with any of them, I'll hop in there and play with them. So, and then my mom was a DJ growing up, so she put me on to like a ton of music. My brother played clarinet. My godfather plays guitar. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like it was just embedded as far as into my DNA from an early age to
Yeah.
just appreciate really good music and a lot of different types of music.
Yeah.
So I feel like my childhood was a little bit different than most. I feel like a lot of kids like either went camping with their dad or did stuff like that. Whereas like my dad was taking me when I was in like middle school to jazz clubs in Baltimore to like jam sessions and stuff.
Oh,
And
wow.
because I wasn't old enough, like it was like bars and stuff like that. So because I wasn't old enough, I literally had
Yeah.
to like go from the stage to like the corner. Like I couldn't go anywhere else. I was like stuck in like two spots. So if I wasn't performing,
Right.
yeah, like I had to stay put. So that was like pretty standard for me in just being heavily involved in the music program and marching band and jazz band, symphonic band, the whole nine, and continued that, through community college, studying music performance and did a program at Berkeley and just yeah, started getting into local bands and stuff like that. And that's how I found out about this wave of music. I wasn't really like I knew about bands like Taking Back Sunday and stuff like that, but I
Yeah.
wasn't super into like what people would call the scene until
Okay.
I started playing drums for this pop punk band and they were super into like Story So Far and State Champs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I hated it at first. I was
Oh,
like, this
did you?
I hated it. Like they'll even tell you that. I was just like, I don't get it. Like it just sounds too raw for me personally.
Was there anything at that point, like at that point, what that you were into was the closest to that? Was there anything like
Taking
even if
Back
it's
yeah, Taking Back Sunday for
oh, so
sure.
you were actually okay, you were into Taking Back Sunday a bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
At that point, I was like, I love Taking Back. I had seen them
Oh,
live.
okay. Oh, sorry. I thought you meant you were just aware of Taking Back Sunday.
Oh yeah,
Got
yeah,
it.
yeah,
No,
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
actually liked them. Okay, got
Yeah, I
it.
was I was super into them, but for whatever reason, the new music that they were playing me just didn't connect with me right away. And
Right.
yeah, so and I was like mainly into like hip hop and R&B and stuff like that anyway. So
Yeah.
even listening to Taking Back Sunday for me was like a stretch at the time, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So
Okay.
when they started playing me like Story So Far demos and they were like, we want to learn this song and play it at the next show. I was like, bro, come on, like, you know what I mean? But after like two or three car rides, them playing it,
Yeah.
I remember being like, nah, this is cool. This is
Oh,
cool.
like the hooks were kind of embedding their way into you or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. And then it that led to everything else. Like, so it was like after that, Neck Deep and State Champs and all those bands that, play with in that scene and the other band that I was playing guitar in was more of a metal band. So they were putting me on to like Miss May I and Bullet for My Valentine and those types
Right.
of bands. So I
Yeah.
had two sides of the spectrum kind of going on simultaneously. And that's kind of what got me into this whole scene. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. And
Yeah.
how old were you at this point?
That was when I was like, still in like I'll say late high school, coming out of going into like college, you know what I mean?
So
Like
like late teens.
yeah, late teens for sure, like 18, 19. That's when I like first started getting into that type of music. And by the time I had done that for years, like that was my main thing was playing guitar and playing drums. And then I had been playing sax like in school the whole time, but
Okay.
I wasn't really focused on that as far as from a career standpoint because I had embedded in me that like I didn't want to play jazz and I didn't want to play symphonic music. So what space was,
So exactly. So
you know what I
forget about
mean?
the
Like
sax. Yeah.
yeah, like reggae wasn't it. So it's like what, what space is there for the sax? And
And
um
did you enjoy playing guitar and drums more than sax? Like just objectively as an instrument, or did you not have a preference with them?
at the time, I think if you would have asked me at the time, yeah, like now it's different. I just feel like I don't know if there's one I prefer more or less. I think it's about just different voices, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, But then, yeah, if you would have asked me if I would have preferred, playing metal or, playing pop punk at the time versus sax, I would have been like, yeah, for sure. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
absolutely. So it didn't hit me how to meld the sax thing into it until it kind of happened just by like happenstance, like just me being in the studio with a producer and him being like, yo, I'm doing this pop side project. I wish I knew someone who could play a sax solo. And I was like, I got mine in the car right now. It's just, yeah, that's kind of what started it. Yeah.
Prior to that, you mentioned the pop punk band who were into Story So Far and stuff that you're
Mhm.
playing drums in. How long did you last in that band? Like, did was that a
Wow.
substantial
Yeah.
thing or what?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was some years. It's probably like 4 or 5 years or something like that.
Did you guys
And
ever have like any moments, small tours or songs
yeah,
that did well? Like,
yeah, yeah. The band was called Chasing Morgan, and
oh, dude, hang on. Bre there was the breakfast EP. Was that?
yeah.
Yeah. That's so weird. That's so weird. I was because yeah, you've thrown me here, as you can probably tell. Because I came across Chasing Morgan. Just I can't tell you how. Just because I'd be like listening to obscure pop punk from around the world
Of
or whatever.
course, as we
And
do.
this exactly, and this was like in 2011, I want to say.
Yeah.
And I remember I really enjoyed. There was a song. It was very Fat Lip, but it was
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
it's like, dude, what should we do tonight?
Yeah, yeah,
You,
yeah, yeah,
what's the
yeah.
song called again? Can you remember?
So what's funny is, so I that was before I didn't join. I didn't
Oh,
start the
you came later. Okay, okay,
so that EP had already been out, and the next album had like just gotten recorded when I came into the band. So I didn't
got it.
join until I think like 2013, 2012.
Okay, okay. So
So,
slightly after then.
but I
Okay.
do know what you're talking about. I think it wasn't like the party song, but it was something of that like kind of,
Yes.
what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Yeah, that was so I went to community college and the lead singer was in one of my music classes and we just,
Yeah.
you get to talking, whatever, and
Yeah. Yeah.
he was just like, yo, like we got talking one day and I told him I play drums in my church because I've been playing music in church my whole life as well.
Right. Okay.
And he was like, bro, our drummer just left or whatever. Would you be interested in auditioning? And I was like, I don't know the style, like what you're looking for, but I know how to
Yeah.
play, so I'll try it out. And
Okay.
they just kept me. So after that, we just played, a bunch of local shows and we did like Warped
Yeah.
Tour a couple times.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Not like the whole thing, but we did some stops, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was kind of my introduction to like
And
Warped Tour and
sorry
stuff.
to cut in, man.
No, okay, please.
Did you go on any like small tours, like supporting bigger artists in that period or anything like that?
So what's really funny is that like I didn't personally, but the band they did a couple like tours. But at the time, my mom was like super like I remember they came over one day and were like, "Hey, we're gonna go on this independent tour," just booking house shows and
Yeah.
that sort of thing. And my mom at the time was like, "What? Like, you know what I mean? Like he's doing. You guys are going where? Do you have credit cards? Do you have a reliable car? Like this, that, and the third." She wasn't feeling it at all. So, I remember I was just like, "Yo, my mom said I can't go. I can't go." You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
so, what's funny is now she'd be stoked, but like, at the time, me coming out of, just coming out of school and stuff, she was like,
Sure.
if you're not doing this the smart way, you shouldn't do it at all. Like you're gonna lose a lot of money, and it's just not like what
Yeah.
is your real plan here? Which is a valid point.
I mean,
But
it makes sense for a parent to have that attitude, of course, you know?
at the time, though, I was like, man, this is gonna be fun. I want to chill with my friends, like you know what I
Yeah.
mean. So, but yeah, I think the biggest thing we did at that point was there was a show called Warped Roadies that came on Fuse, and the rest of the band had been following Warped Tour, doing like catering and stuff like that. So when it came
Mm.
time for our hometown stop, they like let us play. So we did like a feature on Warped Roadies, and we played like another stop, I think the following year. So that's what introduced me to like pop punk, I would say, is my experience through that band. It's crazy you heard about them because that's wild.
Yeah, I was just looking them up the other day. I was just reminiscing. I was like, oh yeah, I remember that band and that song and a couple of their songs. I wonder what they're up to these days. I couldn't see that they'd put much out since about 2015, something like
Yeah,
that. I think.
that was the last EP we did, which was actually really good, but yeah.
Yeah, I think I would have listened to it at the time because I was like, a casual fan, like just seeing what they were doing and stuff. But that's crazy, man. I had no idea that you were in them.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I've been a little bit everywhere, man. Like,
So when that kind of disbanded, what was the next project you were in?
so while I was in Chasing Morgan, I had kind of
Yeah.
formed my own band with some of my friends that I lived closer to, and it was like I said, it was
Okay.
more metal stuff. So as I was picking things up in Chasing Morgan, I was kind of like feeding the information as far as like, this is what I'm learning to the other band, which is called Listen for
Yeah.
the Light. So I was
Okay.
coming home from doing stuff with them and being like, yo, we should think about doing this and that. Because like Chasing Morgan is doing this house show and it's the money that they made, they put that towards the studio. And like, I was
Mm.
able to kind of speed up speed up the learning curve, if you will, for us. So
Okay.
um we did a bunch of like shows. We opened for Miss May I a bunch of times and started like recording music.
Yeah.
That's what eventually led me. We were in the studio recording with Taylor Larson, who owns Mixwave. And he had just like randomly said, like, yo, I wish I had a sax solo on this song. And everyone in the
Oh,
studio, they knew I played,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
they didn't know I played sax. They just knew me as a guitar player. So
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I got it. And then did that solo. Luke Holland, a bunch of other people like filmed a video of it and then posted it to their social media. And they tagged me in it like right then and there. And I remember like looking at my phone, seeing the tag, and I started getting a bunch of follows, and people were like, this is so cool in the comments. And I turned to my bandmates like right then and there, and I was like, yo, like, I'm about to start doing more of this. Like, I want to record
Yeah.
sax solos to songs that we listen to now, like from this style of music, and
Yeah.
make videos to it and just see what happens because no one's doing that. Like, that's such a good
Yeah.
idea. And that's
Yeah.
that's literally how that whole thing started.
It that's so cool. And it's funny, isn't it? Like how no one was doing that before you, because like you think of things like Bruce Springsteen and stuff, like saxophone in rock music's not it's not a new thing, but
No,
I
not at
guess
all.
it'd fallen out of fashion or whatever, and people just hadn't been doing it for years, you know?
Yeah, I mean, and there's a lot of talented saxophone players. I just didn't see a whole lot of I didn't see anyone attacking that cut necessarily as far as like blending. Like I saw bands that had sax players or that would utilize horn players, whether that was like ska or
Hmm.
even like the 1975, for
Of
instance.
course.
I
Yeah,
love
bleachers as well, you know.
Yeah, like, John, the sax player from 1975, super cool dude. Like, so it's like I've seen bands do that kind of thing, but I didn't
Yeah,
see with the new wave of bands, I didn't really see a whole lot of that. So I was kind of
absolutely.
like, yo, I bet you I could record more sax features if more
Yeah.
people knew that I played. So I should just go in and rip solos over the music that like people are listening to and just see if
Yeah.
it takes off. And yeah, it worked out.
Love
So.
it. What were some of the first ones you did?
My first two couple videos were so I did a cover of Ain't It Fun by Paramore, and
Oh, so that was like one of the first ones you did.
yeah, that was like I think my third or fourth video. I did like a couple R&B ones before that,
Okay.
but that was like my first one that was like one of I think my third or fourth video, like period. Like
Oh, I didn't realize it was as early as that because I did from, looking into you, I know that that kind of got some traction and obviously led to some big things. So yeah, talk me through that a little bit because that's insane what that led to.
man, it's like it's so weird because I I feel like every portion of my career so far I could kind of credit to the thing before it. Like there was some sort of catalyst that happened that led me to the next. And I guess that's just life, but
Hmm.
especially with me, it's just been something I've noticed along the way. Like even with the bands, it's like I wouldn't have made maybe the second band wouldn't have been as successful in that realm if I wouldn't have been put on to some of the music from the first band, and
Got it.
if I
Yeah.
wouldn't have gone to community college and I wouldn't have met the lead singer. It's like all these things kind of happen.
Yes.
It's
Leads on to that.
linear,
Yeah, I see.
super
Yeah.
super weird. So it kind of worked the same way with the Ain't It Fun cover, where like I just my best friend Kevin kept trying to put me on a Paramore, and I knew the singles, but I didn't, I wasn't super tapped into the albums.
Yeah.
And we were in the studio, and I like discovered Riot like as an album, and I was
Yeah.
like, I went up to him and I was like, bro, this album's fucking awesome. And he was like, I know, I've been trying to tell you for years. So once I really got into Paramore, right after that was this whole saxophone studio thing. So it, I remember like telling him like, yo, I'm gonna cover a Paramore song, and he was like, yo, you should just start with like one of the most popular ones. Ain't It Fun is huge, you know what I mean? Still,
Yeah.
and I was
Yeah.
like, cool. So I just did a cover of it and threw it up, and then when I put it on Twitter, she saw it almost immediately and shared it, and was
What-
just like, she said something.
That,
This
yeah,
is
that's, but sorry to go. That's
ah, no, go ahead.
crazy. I mean, did you have many followers on Twitter at that point?
No.
So just the fact for her to pick that up is crazy. And
Just yeah, just cut through. And it wasn't any, I feel like now I've spent so much time, doing the social media thing and even studying marketing and stuff like that, that like
yeah,
I kind of know what'll work and what won't work as far as like,
yeah,
getting through to people. At that time, I was just winging everything, like
yeah,
down to the recording. Like I didn't have any cool presets, no cool microphones, just like literally putting the saxophone inside the microphone, playing and putting a little bit of delay on it, and then shooting the video and putting it out like that. It was just that simple. So, um,
can you remember what that moment was like when you got the notification Hayley Williams has retweeted this or whatever she did, you know?
man, it felt the best way to describe it is it felt just how you would think it would feel. Like
Mm,
I'm a fan. Even now, like I've played with so many and worked with so many bands and artists, but I'm like I'm a fan. Like I'm not. I don't consider myself any higher or lower than anybody. I'm a legitimate fan of the art and the music. That's the only thing I care about is the
yeah,
music. And even then, I was just like, oh my God, like I can't believe she saw that. Like that's
yeah,
wild. She's got millions of followers. You know what I mean?
exactly. Yeah,
So yeah, it was just mind blowing. I remember telling everyone like, bro, like she saw the video. Like I called my friend, I called everybody, and
yeah, yeah.
uh, from there, I was just like, okay, so that was cool. I wonder if any other people will think this is cool. So I just kept rinsing and repeating, and that's what led me into Neck Deep because they saw that video, and
Oh, okay. That's how you first connected with them.
yeah, their former drummer Danny, who's a good friend of mine, like
Yeah,
he like liked the video, and I had just bought tickets to see Neck Deep because I was super fan,
yeah,
and so I just messaged him on Instagram, I think, and I was just like, yo, like I saw you like my video on Twitter, I appreciate you. I'm coming to see y'all in a couple weeks, and I'm stoked, like.
yeah,
And he hit me back and was just like, bro, that video was dope. Like, you should do that to our song In Bloom. It just came out. And I was like,
yeah,
sure,
yeah.
like, whatever. And that's literally how everything that was it. Like,
um, I definitely want to come to Neck Deep a bit more in a sec, but on Paramore firstly, because I know, did you kind of there was like some kind of campaign for you to perform with them? Did that happen like as a result of her sharing it, and was that quite a quick time span from you putting that video out to you being on stage with them? Just yeah, tell me a little bit about that.
yeah. It was weird too because I went to see them. I went to see Paramore. Essentially, like what had my friend Kevin was like, yo, I know you'll like Paramore, especially the new album, because I know what type of music you like. And
Yeah,
he had like played me a couple things, and I was like, yeah, this is good, but I wasn't like super into it. But he was like, you're missing something. Like I know you, and you're just like you're not getting it how I know you should. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna buy tickets. We're gonna go see him live. You don't have to pay for it. Just come with me and
okay, yeah,
just check the show out. Like, dude, it's such a good friend. Like, he was like, just come see it live. If you hate it, I'll stop trying to put them on to you. But like,
yeah,
I
yeah,
know you'll like it. So just
yeah,
come.
yeah.
Went to the show, loved it with like a couple of my other friends. Loved the show, obviously. Could not stop listening to Paramore after that. Recorded the covers, whatever, whatever. 6 months later, and so in that time, there was a 6 month span between me like essentially discovering Paramore, and then 6 months later, I was on stage with them. So in between
Wow,
that time, I had recorded like 3 or 4 different covers. She saw and shared all of them. Like
amazing.
on Twitter, on Instagram. I did like a whole thing, and her fans kept like tagging me and stuff. Like even when I wasn't actively doing a video, they would like just tag me and be like, Haley Williams, Saxl Rose, we want to see this happen. Like we want to bring him out on stage, like bring him out on tour. Like it just kept happening. And um people would request songs and it just seemed to be this whole like momentum thing that was going on. I could just feel it.
Yeah,
I was like, yo,
yeah,
they really want to see this happen. I want to see this happen, obviously, but they really want to see this happen.
yeah,
So I'm sure if I saw those things and she saw my video, I'm quite sure she at least saw some of the comments being like, we want to see this.
yeah.
So I hadn't heard anything like leading up to the Paramore show I played. I hadn't heard anything from her team, no one in the band, but
Okay.
I bought tickets to go to that show. So
Yeah.
I did an emo night the night before in Brooklyn for the first time
Nice.
because
Nice.
like the videos I had still been, posting. So they were like, you should do like a quick set. I was like, cool, whatever. So I did
Yeah.
an emo night, left straight from Brooklyn, New York to see Paramore the next day with my friend. And I'm in line and people are recognizing me in the line, which was still mind blowing to me because I'm like, how the hell do you know what's going on here? So
Yeah. Yeah.
people were asking me like, yo, you playing today? I was like, nah, I haven't heard anything. So went to the pit. I'm standing watching Foster the People because they were the opener. And
Yeah.
as I'm there with my friend Kevin, who's the one who put me on to him, I get a
Yeah.
I get a text on my phone and it's Twitter and it's like the DM from Haley Williams. And I was like,
Oh, okay.
opened it and she's like, hey man, like fucking hell. She's like, hey man, not sure if you're at the show or not, but like we'd love to have you if you want, no pressure. But if you want to play Ain't a Fun, it's our encore song. Like we'd love to have you on it. And I
Yeah.
started fucking screaming. Like I was just like, bro. And he was hyped. He knew. I showed it to him. He couldn't believe it. But
Yeah.
all the people around us were looking at me like I was crazy because they didn't know why I was yelling and stuff like that. And so of course I messaged back like I was like, hey, my sax is in my car, but they're not gonna let me leave to get it like security. They're not just gonna let me
Yeah.
walk out and walk back in, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was like, nah, don't worry about that. I'm gonna have my security guard escort you out to your car and back in. Like you're fine. Like just go get it. And then 5 songs before the song or 4 songs, just come to the back to get ready. And I was like, cool. So the craziest part about that story though is that leading up to that show,
Yeah.
the town I live in, everyone was kind of a part of that campaign as far as like Paramore's coming to Maryland. These videos have been going crazy. Play with like get on stage with Paramore. So a bunch of people, I'm saying like 20, 25, 30 people from my town bought tickets on the off chance that I played that show. No one knew.
Right. Okay.
So a ton of my friends came, like old teachers and people were there, like just a bunch of people in the crowd were there just on the off chance I played. So
Wow.
I didn't tell anyone even after I found out. Only my friend knew. So all my friends were in the pit with me, maybe like 10 of us. And 4 songs before Ain't It Fun, I turned to him and we're watching Paramore, like having a blast. And
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, bro, I got to go to the bathroom. And I remember my friend Dan was like, bro, you're not gonna be able to get back in if you leave now. Like you should just stay here. And I was like, bro, I'm literally if I don't go now, I'm gonna like go on myself. I have to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Left and then my friend Kevin, everyone was taking a video. When I walked out on stage, it was just pandemonium. Like they lost it. They could not believe that I was like up there. It was crazy, bro.
That's amazing. I love how casual they were about it. Like, no sound check with the sax or anything like that. Just plug in and play, basically.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, she said that on stage too. She was like, we didn't rehearse this. We didn't, and that's
Yeah.
like what I'm used to. I trust like I'm never gonna be the most technical player or the best player alive, or that's not really even what I'm out for, but I'll put my ear up against almost anybody's. Like I can hear it, I can figure it out. You know what I mean? Something I've never
Yeah.
heard before, I can figure out pretty quick. So I was comfortable even being in that situation because I'm like, this is what I do anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll figure it out. I know the material. So yeah, she brought me out, made this whole announcement, stopped the show, and then we played, and it was just a whole moment. And that's continued to even now. That was in like 2018, and
Yeah.
still so many people that follow me message me or comment, and I still see like, oh, I was at the Paramore show, or like I've seen you with Paramore, but
Wow.
it was just it's crazy, man. I feel super blessed that I got to experience that.
Yeah, what a thing to happen.
Wow.
Yeah, let's just talk about Neck Deep a little bit. So, um, the former drummer suggested that you played on that single.
Mhm.
Did you just like do a live performance with them for? Because I know it ended up being a studio version with you. Did
Mhm.
you just come out when they came through town, or was it a similar kind of thing at first?
It's pretty much the same story. Like Danny hit me
Okay.
up. I recorded it at home, like did a version of it, and then sent it to him. And he said that they were doing a sound check, and he put his phone up to the microphone and was like, "Yo,
Hmm.
this dude on Twitter just like covered our song and played it." And he said everyone was like super stoked on it, and there were no vocals in it. I was actually doing like the lead myself.
Got it. Okay.
So he was like, "Yo, come to the Baltimore show, come hang out, and we're just gonna like, wing it at sound check." I was like, "Cool." So what's funny is as we were sound when I got there, everyone was super nice. Like everyone in that band has always been super nice to me. But uh when I was on stage, I could kind of feel like Danny knew, but I could feel that everyone else was kind of like, okay, how is this gonna work exactly? Rightfully
Okay.
so. Like
Yeah.
new
Yeah.
instrument, not an on-brand instrument, if you will, for the music. So I got
Yeah.
it. But in my mind, I knew like, yo, I'm gonna just add little things in between the vocals and melodies and stuff and make it cool. And my friend was there videotaping the whole thing, and you could see on the videotape during the first sound check when I started playing, everyone was kind of like, and then I played a couple notes, and like Ben, the lead singer, was like, cool, like, and then I feel like
Yeah.
everyone was more comfortable. So we ran it twice
Yeah.
in sound check. They brought me out, and that went off so well. They were like, "Yo, what are you doing tomorrow? We're playing New York at PlayStation Theater if you want to come." And
Amazing.
I was like, "Well, I gotta work, but like, I'll just tell them I'm not coming." So, yeah, told the restaurant I was working at, I was like, "I'm not gonna be there. I'm playing with this band," and did that. And then they were like, after that, they were like, "We're doing this late night show in LA," and their manager and at the time, and everyone was just kind of like, "We want it to be extra special, you should come." And I was like, "I'm down, like why not?" So they flew me in LA, did that, and
Which
that
which late night show was that?
we did Last Call with Carson Daly.
Oh,
So
okay. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it was on NBC, and
Yep. I remember I was in the audience watching Newfound Glory play that many years ago, so I remember that studio
that's
when
sick.
that was on
That's a
NBC.
great that's a great story.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Dude, yeah, so yeah, we did that, and then that kind of just spawned like this really cool relationship between us where like anytime they came around to anywhere close to me,
Yeah.
they would just hit me up. So I've played some of my biggest and best shows with them, like even before the UK tour, like that was my first time hopping in my car, traveling to outside of my state and, or flying somewhere and performing to crowds that big, like
Hmm.
LA, San Diego, New Jersey, Philly, Maryland, Virginia, DC, like whatever. It was like they gave me that first experience. And then by the time we even did the LA show, they were like, "Yo, we should re-record In Bloom with you since it's like doing really well
Okay.
and
Yeah.
put it out as like a new version." And I was like, "Cool." Like everything that
Yeah.
happened, I was just like, "Sure, like why not?" So did that, put that out. That did really well. And then to kind of like support that, they I think they got the offer anyway. It wasn't necessarily to support that EP, but they got the offer to do the UK tour with Don Broco. So they they had mentioned it to me while we were doing a show in I think San Diego, and then
Okay.
I went around to everyone. Like someone had mentioned it to me, like, "Oh, dude, it'd be sick if you could be there." And I was like, "Yeah." So I went around to everyone in the band individually, and I was just like, "Yeah, man. Apparently, they're talking about like possibly bringing me out for the UK tour, like just like planting it in everyone's
Planting those seeds. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, just planting seeds. Like, yeah, that'd be cool." And everyone was like, "That would be cool." And I was like, "Yo, let me know." You know what I mean? So um, it just happened. They worked it out. I went over there, and that was crazy, man. I'm like playing
Ha-
Wembley and Nottingham, and like,
Yeah. Had you been to the UK prior to that in your personal life or
no,
no?
I'd never toured in a tour bus before then. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was
Oh no, I mean like outside of music and stuff.
Yeah, no,
You hadn't visited the UK full stop prior to that?
no, I never left the States, period. You
Oh,
know,
okay. Wow. Okay.
yeah, I never left the States. I mean, like the biggest trip for me at the time was probably like Florida or going to San Diego to visit family.
Yeah.
I never really left the States like that.
Okay.
That was first time getting a passport, first time being over there and also meeting people over there who already knew me from like social
Yeah.
media was like
Yeah. Yeah.
that was the craziest thing to me. I was like, I've never been over here and you all are coming up to me and like asking me like about other videos I've done that have nothing to do with neck deep. Like I was just like, yo, this is crazy. Like it was super wild.
Wow. And what did you make of the UK in general? Was enjoy it overall? Would you say?
I loved it. I loved it. It was, I feel like I kind of got spoiled on that, having that be my first tour, though. You know what I mean? Because so many people, I played hometown shows and I played like, stuff like that, local shows, but I don't know, having my first tour be on like a double decker tour bus
Yeah.
in the UK
Yeah.
to,
Wembley Arena.
yeah, to arenas, like it's almost like unfair in a way, you know what I mean? But so I feel like my view of maybe what the UK, experience was maybe not everyone's average experience, but
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
That's a strange situation to be in. It's
you know
awesome.
what I mean? But
Yeah.
I take it as a good thing. I appreciate it. Those are things that people don't get to do in their entire lives. So it's
Yeah.
like I got to experience that early, and I'm really
Yeah.
appreciative of
Yeah.
that, being able to
Yeah.
experience different cultures, different foods, and just I think too, sometimes, especially in America, I think we make the mistake and people tend to, and it's not always our fault, but people tend to think that the US is the world. Like it's just we're the entire world and that's it. And it's
Yeah.
like me being able to go over there and experience a different culture, and a different even just different mindsets, different perspectives, you know what I mean, really, really helped, I think, change me as an individual as well to be like, yo,
Yeah.
like the States isn't the only place out here. And first of
Yeah.
all, and I'm not the only, the American perspective or whatever you want to call it isn't the only perspective. And um, there's other people out here that experience life on a total different side of the world with a total different, just everything, whether that's food, politics, family, like whatever it is, there's all these
Yeah.
different perspectives out here. And it really changed me as a person in a good way, you know what I mean? To really be
Yeah.
open to new experiences and just grateful for what I was doing at the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Was there anything, obviously with Neck Deep being Brits themselves, was there anything that they were like, oh, we need to show you this, or like, whether it's a restaurant or a
Mhm.
certain bar, or like do you remember anything? Was there anything in particular that they were excited to show you about the UK?
So I remember when we first got there, I got off the plane, went to the hotel. I was exhausted, so I took a nap. And when I woke up, I was like meeting up with the band, and they were like, "Hey, there's a lot of good like Indian spots out here as well." And I don't really have a lot of that where I live personally. So
Yeah.
I remember they were stoked to uh have me experience my first Indian food,
Yeah.
experience.
What, so was this in the outskirts of London?
Yeah, we were. Where was the
Do you know where
first?
you were?
Damn, where was that first stop? We did two shows at the same place the first 2 days. I'll have to look at the flyer.
Okay.
It definitely was like I feel like you're right. It definitely was in the outskirts, but I gotta look at the flyer for sure. But yeah,
Yeah.
it was really really good. I remember experiencing that. And I was like, that's cool. And even some of the lingo, I think that was the main thing. Was like certain things were said like.
Yeah.
I walked out of the hotel and they had like free breakfast or whatever. And this dude was standing in the hallway. And as soon as I walked out the elevator, I was like, the band was kind of behind me or whatever. And this dude just asked me, like, he was like, a bit peckish. And I was like, yo, what's up? Like, what'd you just say?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he was like, the band started laughing. They were like, nah, he was just asking if you were hungry. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, like stuff like that. But the thing that also like not sucks because it was awesome, but in a way is like we had catering every day on tour. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Of
I
course.
didn't necessarily get as much time to like explore and go out and eat other places because it's like we got all this free amazing food
Yeah.
here that they cook for
Yeah.
us every day. So it's like, you
Yeah.
know,
So it's only going to be on days off,
yeah, which was
I don't know how
cool.
many. Yeah.
which was really cool. But I feel like, yeah, again, I feel like my experience was a little bit different or like skewed than the average, UK experience. It was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Um, so obviously there's the relationship with Neck Deep.
Mhm.
I do want to talk about some of the huge artists that you've been involved with. You know, certainly your all-time favorite artists. We'll come to that in a minute. But just staying with like scene artists for the
Mhm.
minute. I mentioned at the top of this, State Champs are good friends of yours, and
Mhm.
that's obviously how we first connected because we did a lot of stuff with State Champs last year. And
Oh yeah, I
yeah,
saw that. Cool.
oh, thanks, man. Thanks. Yeah. Yeah. So did that follow shortly after Neck Deep? You're kind of, and I assume it was through that connection that led you to state champs.
Yeah, man. I really can't take a whole lot of, I mean, as far as me being into those bands and covering them, like I can't take too much credit past that because like how, I'm already telling you with like Paramore, but a lot of these fans like or supporters of bands, it's like if you're a fan of Neck Deep, 9 times out of 10, you're probably gonna be a fan of State Champs and like
Yeah.
Story So Far. Like a lot of these fans overlap in a way.
Yeah.
So it's like I would do a video of Neck Deep or play with Neck Deep, and somewhere in the comments, someone would be like, "Oh, State Champs is coming here next month. Play with them too." You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
see all that stuff, so I'm like, true, I do like State Champs. Let me cover one of their songs and tag them in it and see if they like it. And then I do that. One of the band members will hit me and be like, bro, like there's always one or two in the band that
Yeah.
are a little bit
Yeah.
more like, yo, like, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think Ryan hit me up right away and Derek hit me up right away and Evan,
Yeah.
the drummer, and was just like, yo, like we're doing this 5 year anniversary tour of the Finer Things in Jersey. You should pull up. And I was like, I love the Finer Things. It's
Yeah.
cool. I'm with it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that started that, and then during the pandemic, they were recording an acoustic EP, and they asked me to be on that. So I think
Amazing.
like just right time, right place, and the right type of player as far as like I'm not a super aggressive like not that there's anything wrong with that, but I'm saying like as far as my actual style of playing, I'm not doing like I think if I was like a ska player or like a straight up like any one genre player, maybe it
Yeah.
wouldn't happen that way, but
Interesting.
I feel like because of my style, it's like if they're doing an acoustic EP, I think they knew that I could have the right approach to where it would make sense. You know what I mean? Which
Yeah.
is a thing. Like I don't think any instrument could just hop on it and it would sound the same. Like I knew how to kind of like approach that style of music.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it makes sense. And did you hop on stage with them on that when they came through just recently? I think I
Yeah,
saw.
yeah, that was cool. That was probably my one of my favorite times because I really love their new album.
Yeah.
I think it's their best work. Like,
It's yeah, I think it is. Yeah, because I've always thought they were good, but you know, just kind of there, like,
Mhm.
and thought they were good people and stuff. But I feel like this new album's like kind of elevated it a bit for me. Did you do Hell of It? Was that the
Yeah,
song you were doing? I think. Yeah,
I
nice.
love that
That's a good
song.
one. That's a good
Yeah,
one.
yeah. Ryan knew I loved that song because when it came
Yeah,
out, I texted him and I was like, bro, this song is fire. So when we went to sound check, or actually the day before, I hung out with them in Maryland and I didn't play that day. I couldn't get there early enough. Because I think I was playing another gig or something like that. But they said there like, yo, you should play in Philly. And I was like, cool. And Ryan was like, I know you like Hell of It. Why don't you just play that song? And I was like, yeah, if you want. Like, yeah, sure. So yeah, dude, I love those guys. As far as like the industry goes, there's friends that you make in the industry that are like industry friends, and then there's like the industry friends that feel actually like real friends. Like
yeah.
they they've definitely been like Ryan, he'll tap in and reach out periodically and they're all just super. I mean, I've had all good experiences with everyone, but them especially like when I come around, they make me feel like I'm just the next band member. Like they just make me feel
That's
right at
cool.
home. I've brought my mom out to shows and friends, and they do the same with them. Like to the point where my mom will be like, "Oh, how's state champs?" Or I'll go to the show and Ryan will be like, "How's your mom doing?" It's like little things like that make such a big difference to me personally. So I
Yeah,
love that band, bro.
that's great. And yeah, from my small experience of spending time with them, that's all. That doesn't shock me from hearing that. So yeah,
They're the
yeah,
boys.
they're
They're just the
good
boys.
guys.
Crazy.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, obviously, there's a few other bands from the scene that I've seen you've done stuff with. So I think like Stand Atlantic, Carousel Kings. I think saw you do something with Silverstein. Is there any within this world? artists that you are kind of on the hit list for you that you haven't connected with yet that you would really love to?
Man, what's crazy is like I was real like I told you before, I used to be really, really into Taking Back Sunday when I was
Mm,
growing up. And
yeah.
one of my good friends, actually, his name is Matt. He was in the band during the New Again era, Matt
Oh,
Fozzy.
right. Okay.
Super talented, and he ended up forming like my all-time favorite band, which is it was called Happy Body Slow Brain. Um, he was the brainchild behind that, and he's written some of my favorite music, and he's one of my favorite musicians, and he's just a great dude. But he also plays with like RX Bandits and shit like that. But
Oh, nice.
yeah,
Classic.
he's insanely talented. But he was in Taking Back Sunday, like when I really got into New Again, and that's kind of how me and him linked. But I used to love that band so much, and I've covered like
Yeah.
two or three of their songs, and I've tagged them in it, and I've done the whole thing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing, bro. And I was
Ah,
like, just for old time's sake, and just being the fact that they inspired me so much as a kid and got me into so much music, like I really would have loved at some point to like just jam with them on one song, just to be able to for myself. I didn't
yeah.
care.
Just to be able to say you've done that. Yeah.
Yeah, like I didn't care about anything. I didn't care about like, the social media picture, like none of that. I just wanted to be like, yo, I love this band from when I was like really young. They influenced me in some way, and damn it, like I fucking played with them, and
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
haven't bit at any of my videos, and that's it's okay.
Ah,
It's totally cool. Like it's not gonna work. My win to loss ratio, I think, is massively lopsided as far as like it works almost every time when I cover a song. Like I
yeah.
can't
Yeah.
I can't complain. I've played with every single one of my favorite bands from all the ones you've named, Motionless in White, The Used, Seos, and like everybody.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't complain about it. I just
Yeah.
wanted to play with them. That's all. Like I just wanted to.
Yeah. Come
Uh,
on, TBS.
come
Make it
on, man. Like y'all know
happen.
what's up. Like nah, but I really did want to play with them. As far as anyone else, like I got to be perfectly honest. Like I've played with um every single one of the bands that I genuinely love. Like I've at this point I've played with like
Okay.
everyone that I was like, yo, I'm really into this to your music specifically. I think that's what made it so genuine was that when I go to do the cover, it's not like this manufactured thing. It's like I love the music so much, and I
Yeah.
probably already have in my head what I want to do with it on sax. And I think that comes across. So that's probably why it connects as easily as it does.
Yeah.
Um, the only other band I will say, there's a band called The Brook and the Bluff that I'm really into. And right now they make really, really good music, and I
Oh,
would
yeah.
love to play with them. That would be really, really cool. But
Okay. So they're
other than
on.
that, I'm
Nice.
cool. Like,
Amazing.
yeah.
Yeah, we need to talk a little bit about Wiz Khalifa, obviously being like, you've
Mm,
kind of stated, I've seen in a few places that all-time favorite artist.
mm.
Um, I know there's some other huge artists you work with as well, but in particular, tell me a little bit about the stuff with Wiz Khalifa, like real quick, like how that came about and just what that experience has been like, because I'm sure that must have been insane for you.
Man, crazy. I'll give you the most condensed version I possibly can, but yeah, like j the same deal. Me covering music, and I knew, from me doing the thing with Paramore, I think I knew in my head like the odds of me like Paramore's huge, don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
Wiz is like he had millions upon millions of followers, like
Yeah.
so I kind of knew like getting through to him right away and just being like, yo, I play the sax, like that the odds of that are very, slim. So
Hmm.
the greatest thing about what I do with social media is I feel like instead of me, it's the difference between me going up to you and being like, yo, I play sax, I promise it'll be really cool, and then showing you what I can do so you can hear it and then to
Yeah.
kind of decide for yourself. And that's such a huge difference between, you know what I mean? I think that's garnered me a lot of the results because people are able
Yeah.
to see it, hear it. They don't have to just like trust that it's going to be cool. They can just hear it. So I kind of did that with Wiz, where like I just covered him. I covered a bunch of his artists like Chevy Woods and Deji and a lot of the artists on his label. And
Yeah.
a lot of the people around him made that happen. Like it wasn't just me being really talented and stuff like that. It's like his security guard Breeze, he like followed me right away and was like, "Yo, this is dope. I'm gonna share it." And then a bunch of people on his team, like Ludi and like I said, Chevy Woods, all these people like kind of found me first and were like, "Yo, we're gonna play him your music. Like this is really cool."
Got
It
it.
was like
Yeah.
I just trusted him. Like, if that's what you said, that's what you said. And
Yeah.
all of them came through. Like every single one of them, like Chevy was like, yo, when I can tap you into this, I'm going to. And then by the time like an opportunity came up, it was like they were like, yo, Saxl Rose, like, and it just kind of worked out. So Wiz invited me. I was like on social media on Instagram live, and Wiz was just like going live one day, and I wrote something in there like, yo, like, what's good? And he said, he was like, yo, Saxl Rose, what's up? And I was like, bro, like, how the
Big
hell?
moment.
Yeah, bro. It's like, cause I
Yeah.
mean, dude, I've loved Wiz's music since like middle school, bro. Like,
Yeah.
he's my favorite artist. Like anyone who knows
Yeah.
me in real life, like I mimicked everything this dude did, from like the way he dressed to the way he talked, like to the slang to the music. Like I was recording music that sounded like him, like purposely, like doing the voice and everything for the longest time, just because like I was just married to the culture, you know what I mean? As far as hip hop and that specific artist, like Wiz just influenced me a lot, especially like he talks about business a lot and family, and like those positive things really influenced my life. So when he like recognized me, I was just like, yo, this is crazy. So he just messaged me and was like, I'm working on this project called Big Pimpin'. This was during the pandemic, which I think also played a role because everyone was on their phone. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if it was any other time, maybe he would have missed me, but literally there was nothing else to do early on but be on your phone. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I think they were probably looking at everything, you know what I mean? So he just hit me and was like, yo, I'm doing this project, hop on it. And I was like, cool. So what's crazy is like my grandmother had passed away, and he messaged me one night, and I had my whole family at my house, like everybody. My brother was here, my sister-in-law, their babies, my mom, my dad, everyone was here. And
Hmm.
uh they sent me the song at like 1 in the morning, and they were like, yo, we're releasing the project tomorrow, so you like we need this now. And I was like,
Oh,
dude,
wow.
yeah, rap,
Yeah.
man. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't do this now, but I was like, the last thing I want to do is get hit with the first opportunity and give them an excuse as to why I can't do it, because
Yeah. That's it.
that's how
Yeah.
you lose the opportunity. It's like,
Yeah.
man,
And
you
even if it is something that's genuine and very, difficult circumstances, it doesn't mean the opportunity is going to come around again, right? You know?
exactly, you give an excuse one time, and like unfortunately that could just be it, and it could be a valid excuse. Like, you know,
Exactly.
your car really could have broke down, or in my case, my grandmother really she had
Yeah.
just passed. That was a valid excuse to be like, I can't focus on this right now. But
Yeah.
I knew like that this could have long-term regrets for me, and I was just
Yeah.
like, yo, I don't think my grandmother or anyone else would even want me to like potentially miss an opportunity, you know?
Good. Right. Yeah.
So I got my car, I took my studio gear to my car, and then went to my church because I had a key at like 2 in the morning, and set up my studio, recorded the feature, and then sent it to them. And then at like 5 in the morning, they were like, yeah, like this is good. Like you're cool. And I was like, bet. And then came home, went to sleep. And when I woke up, I had another message from them, and they were like, yo, we got one more song. And I was like, okay, cool. And then recorded guitar on that, sent it to them. And it was out like that night, like the whole thing.
Wow.
Yeah. Um,
That's a fast turnaround.
yeah, so from that, it just kept like they just kept, Wiz kept sending me songs, or like their team would send me songs. And like we did a song that ended up on ESPN that was like the theme song for the Professional Fighters League that Wiz owns. And his last album, Multiverse, like they flew me out to LA, and I recorded sax and guitar on that. So it's been like all the band stuff, same deal, like dream come true, but it's been extra personal for me personally, being in the studio with Wiz and having him hit me up and trust me, as far as like when we're in there. He's just like, I was like, yo, what are you feeling? He's like, yo, I called you here to do you. You know what I mean? So
Right. Yeah.
like do your thing. And that for me, like, bro, I could have cried like any of those times, because I'm just like thinking
Yeah.
about the younger me. And if I knew then, like, yo, at some point, Wiz is this artist that you love is gonna call you into the studio to tell you to do your thing on his music. Like I there's no way I would have believed that shit. Like, no way.
It's incredible.
Yeah,
Incredible, man.
I be wanting to cry thinking about that shit. It's crazy, bro. Like,
Yeah.
nuts.
Yeah. No, that's fantastic, man.
Yeah, man.
I tell you, dude, like this is just This is flown. Like I thought we'd been talking like 20 minutes, and it's nearly an hour already.
Man, sorry for talking so much, man.
No. That's what we want, man. That's what we want. Yeah. No, it's this is perfect. I love it when someone's interesting, and it's just the fact that this is flown shows that I've loved doing this. But yeah, I think I can let you go, mate, because you've spent an hour with me, and I really appreciate that. And yeah, thanks for connecting with us. And like, I love what you're doing. And
thanks, man. I really appreciate you taking the time to even talk to me. Like I said, I'm like super. I just feel super fortunate to be even in the position to be in the mix. So, thanks for taking the time to talk to me. I appreciate it.
Absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure. I love your story, man. It's great.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Long may it continue. Great to meet you.
You too, man. Have a good one.